Behind the peaceful green valley deep in the forest, 3 friends lived happily together. A clever deer with a mind full of ideas, a sky-gazing dove with eyes sharp as the wind, and a porcupine whose tiny body was armored with sharp quills. One bright morning, they were playing tag, chasing each other through the trees. Suddenly, Dove cried out,
"Stop! Watch out, there's a hole ahead."
They skidded to a halt and stared at a deep natural hole hidden beneath leaves and roots. It was so deep that if anyone fell in, they wouldn't be able to climb out without help.
"Lucky you can fly so high and spot this hole, Dove,"
said Deer. Dove nodded in agreement. After that close call, they returned to their favorite meeting place under the big tree at the edge of the forest, where they shared stories and laughter. But not far away, a pair of eyes was watching them closely. It was Grey Wolf, a lonely creature with no friends, feared by all because of his cruel and vicious nature. Watching the joyful trio filled him with envy.
"Friends? Nonsense.
He growled.
Power is all that matters. The strong should rule."
That night, Grey Wolf devised a plan. He crafted a nearly invisible net trap and disguised it with dry leaves. The next morning, Porcupine was walking along his usual path when, snap, he was caught in the trap.
"Help! I'm stuck!"
he cried. Dove, soaring above the valley, spotted him and panicked. She flew as fast as she could to find Deer, who was sunbathing on a rock.
"Deer, Porcupine's been caught. It must be the wolf's doing."
She shrieked. Deer stood up at once, his eyes narrowing.
"We can't defeat the wolf with strength, but we do have brains and wings,"
he said with a sly smile. Then Deer began forming a plan. Working swiftly, Dove was tasked with distracting the wolf using loud calls, while Deer sneaked through the bushes.
"Cowardly wolf!
Shouted Dove from above.
You only trap those who can't fight back."
Grey Wolf emerged from the shadows, baring his teeth.
"Annoying little bird. You'll be my dessert."
He leapt and snapped at Dove, but she was too quick. Meanwhile, Deer had reached the trap. He hurried to Porcupine and began biting through the ropes.
"Almost there, hold on,"
whispered Deer. With one final snap, the net loosened. Porcupine struggled free just as Grey Wolf noticed the commotion. Realizing he had been tricked, the wolf turned and charged toward them. Deer darted into the underbrush, easily hiding himself, but Porcupine was slower. Just as the wolf lunged to strike, Porcupine raised his quills, sharp and ready.
"Arg!"
howled the wolf as his paw struck the painful spikes. In pain and rage, he backed away, allowing Porcupine to escape into the bushes.
"I'll catch you all!"
roared the furious wolf. But Deer was calm. He knew exactly where to lead him.
"Catch me if you can,"
shouted Deer, luring the wolf deeper into the woods. He ran toward the very pit they had discovered before, now cleverly covered with branches and leaves. Deer leapt over it at the last moment. The chasing wolf didn't see the danger ahead.
"You won't get away this time, dear,"
he growled. Thump! Grey Wolf fell straight into the trap. A frightened howl echoed from the pit. The walls were too steep and slippery, he couldn't climb out. Bathed in the warm sunlight, the 3 friends stood around the edge of the hole. Porcupine spoke softly but firmly.
"You thought you could defeat us with strength, but you were wrong. Our friendship is sharper than your fangs."
Dove added.
"And faster than your claws."
Deer simply smiled.
"Goodbye, wolf. We have a forest to protect, and a peace to keep."
Moral of the story: in a world ruled by deception and brute strength, true friendship built on trust, courage, and cleverness will always triumph. Those consumed by envy and greed will ultimately fall into the trap they set for others.